It's remarkable. If you should all go. This is a fantastic structure, but it's surrounded by the discontinuity of tourism, which becomes the continuity that envelops the temple and makes the temple continuous and discontinuous at the same time. This is from a room I stayed in years ago in Khon Kaen. And what I find interesting about this is that in 7 years, if you go to that building in Khon Kaen, you will see enough new buildings so that that image of a tranquil, relaxed, non-capitalistically crazy town has been replaced by essentially a building boom and a development boom. This is yours truly with a couple I met in Bangkok. They had a pizza restaurant, but the lady, the daughter, and he was very ill, recovering from a stroke. She was at one point, 25 years ago, one of the lead attorneys for the King of Thailand. She did legal business for the royal family and for the Thai government. And when I asked her one day, what happened? She said, well, everyone in the family flaked out when my dad got sick, except me. That her story, in other words, was she retreated to family continuity. And when we would have coffee once in a while, I would say, well, it's a big sacrifice you've made. And she would say, not really. I was happy to get away from the lawyers and the pressures of contemporary society and have some continuity in my life. This is off a train on the way, I believe, from Bangkok to it's either south toward Hua Hin or just north toward Ayutthaya. Again, it seems to invite, here's, instead of Chang, the idyllic farmer and his wife and baby and the happy animals and so on in the jungle, this seems to say the jungle and steel, right? Entirely different kind of periodization. So here it takes us into slum and jungle. Well, how do we look at that? Do we look at that as an accidental byproduct of Thai development? Or do we look at that as a norm? Where there is development in Thailand, there is also the slum. All right? Again, this is for you folks looking at all these kinds of images and reading in Thai history very closely to find out, is this an issue of the new discontinuity in Thailand? Or is this a repetition of something that's repeated over and over and over and over again in all Asian developing or even Western societies? I could take you to Los Angeles and show you, many similar kinds of scenes. This is San Patong, about 30 miles southwest of Chiang Mai. I love the dog. The dog sat there and looked at me while I took the photo. And this is a local temple. You guys know where San Patong is? You know where Hang Dong is near Chiang Mai? South of Chiang Mai? Chiang Mai, Hang Dong, San Patong. Thank you. It is a beautiful local temple that is kept alive by the contributions of the farmers. They built parts of the temple behind the tree and put there, again, giving themselves a kind of continuity. The dog, the tree, the temple, the farmers, the families, the ceremonies, the rituals, the burials. About a quarter mile from here is a cemetery. No, it's not a what do you call it, crematorium. And it all seemed relatively well integrated to me until I started asking my friends about this, and they said all of this is going to disappear within 5 or 6 years because Chiang Mai is, as my friend put it, Chiang Mai is the Leviathan. Chiang Mai is growing and devouring everything in its path. So here you have an image of what looks like this continuity, but it's threatened by processes that are off image of discontinuity.
So a good question might be, as the tunnels become tourist traps and the slums increase and old emblematic Thai archetypes get taken over by modernity and crappy condos and shitty buildings, does Thailand become less Thai?
Well, I mean, that is obviously a good question. If you think there is such a thing as Thainess, is it that Thainess that is under pressure by each and every way in which it's being eroded or dissolved or transformed into something unrecognizable? But if Thainess is a fiction, that is to say it's based upon singling out, say, royal dance, or singling out certain passages in Buddhist texts, or singling out Thailand's warfare with over the centuries with Burma and with Cambodia, right? Then you have to say your sense of Thainess is based upon these kinds of documents and materials, and the general idea of Thainess doesn't make sense. But if you think there is a general sense of Thainess, then you have to articulate it in such a way as to show that it does exist because we can see it being taken away. How would we study that? How would we study the taking away of a cultural norm or a cultural identity? Huh? Anyone want to venture a guess how you study what's going away? Not what's coming up, not what's emerging, but what's being taken away? By the very attitudes people have toward what's being taken away. There must be at least one completely tattooed punk person in Bangkok who believes they're saving Thailand identity via the tattoos from back of head to bottom or bottom of ankle. There must be at least one radical, reactionary savior of Thailand through tattooing. I'm just using that as an extreme, crazy example to say that we can see it going away by how people talk about loss and preservation, loss and resurrection, or when people draw the line and say, this has gone too far. For example, statistically, every demographer knows that Buddhism is slowly but surely shrinking in Thailand. The monks now do therapy, in some provinces they do therapy on cell phone, right? They talk, in other words, they talk to people, but they're not talking religious talk with people. They're doing kind of family and cultural community therapy with individuals. My husband won't stop drinking, and so they can call the monks because they're going nuts. But the monks are diminishing in Thailand. One way of getting at that is to study how it's being saved. Where's the new money coming from to save the monasteries, etc.? Which monasteries? You know, Chiang Mai has 327 temples. It's a major tourist attraction. But does that mean that Buddhism in Chiang Mai is tourist Buddhism and is amalgamating with the spas, the high-end spas, right? Or is there at the same time a kind of revivification of a different kind of Thai Buddhism emerging in Chiang Mai? again, these are things to be studied. One of my favorite cities in Thailand is Khon Kaen. This is a street scene in Khon Kaen, which could be dated 1945, but it is in fact 2007. Again, here you have an image in which continuity and discontinuity seems to be arrested each other. They're a kind of slow motion togetherness of the very idea of continuity and discontinuity. This is Sukhothai. Notice the Krieg light on the ground on top of Mr. Grass. And then this is a late 14th, early 15th century, two small temples and a statue at Sukhothai. Is this what Thai people think of when they think about the continuity of Thai history? Sukhothai formed part of the imaginary of the Thai people as a historically significant time and place and event where Thailand was established in certain ways. Sukhothai is where the language was first written down as a combination of Thai, Mon, Pali, and Khmer. 4 different scripts came together there. Does that say anything to Thai people today? I don't know, it's up to you guys. You, Mr. Smiling here. Yeah, does it say anything to you?
Quite interesting.
Huh?
For me, I think now it's quite less than before. Because nowadays we don't really feel that much of it.
You don't feel there's much
From it.
profit?
No, not from it. From the history itself.
Well, that goes to the larger question: to contemporary society, is history just another resource